going on, everyone? This is going to be the most exciting end to the week that we have seen in a long time. The gloves are off. Trump and Elon are in a full-out brawl right now, and this is making for some giant moves and opportunities in the stock market. Today, we're going to be covering exactly what's actually happening right now, what you need to know for tomorrow, and where the opportunities are at. Grab your popcorn. This is going to be the best video of the week. And besides that, Tom, let's get right to it.
Yeah, as we can see, the SPY was pretty choppy and flat today. It did get close to $600, but nobody really cares about that right now, other than the fact that it is kind of falling off a little bit at resistance as Tesla stock is tanking. It's down 14% here as it closed. This was a terrible move by Tesla in the short term. They ended up falling under $300, and if you don't know what's going on yet, well, buckle up because we have quite the rundown here. Overall, as a quick rundown, first things first, Elon Musk has been having a lot of critical inputs against the bill that Trump is trying to get passed, which everyone dubs the big, beautiful bill, right? Elon has been talking about this quite a bit, even calling it a disgusting abomination yesterday, and today he came out posting about it quite a bit on X. Trump ended up talking in the Oval Office today and pretty much saying why this happened to Elon. He did say that Elon was upset that they took away some EV tax credits, and we'll get into the specifics in just a little while. But as a quick rundown, Elon and Trump are starting to get into a major duel here as Elon is very critical of this bill, and Trump is almost coming out in a way trying to defend himself by criticizing Elon. So it's pretty funny here. They are fighting, and Tesla stock is dying off. Unfortunate for Tesla shareholders, but I will say for everybody who thought that they missed the dip on Tesla, it's going to be a pretty advantageous thing if it keeps falling, and there might be some good prices to be had soon.
What a drop. Yeah, like you said, it's back below $300. It fell by 14% today. And as we know, Tesla is a big component of the S&P 500. It is the 10th heaviest weighted company in the entire market. So when Tesla moves, it drags a lot of other things with it. So yeah, this situation definitely made for some exciting price action with Tesla today. But tell us more about what this high school drama fight looks like.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Elon and Trump are taking a lot of criticism from this, but as we know, like I said, Trump ended up saying that Elon was pretty upset about those EV tax credits that were not included in the bill, and Elon actually ended up coming back and defending himself from this. And what we saw today was a series of, let's say, Elon Musk posts and then Trump posts where they just pretty much went back and forth. So Elon came back here, he said, whatever, keep the EV and EV and solar incentive cuts in the bill, that's fine, but he said get rid of the disgusting pork, right? So he's definitely still being pretty critical of the bill here in the short term, and it's pretty funny. Trump actually came out and posted that he asked Elon to leave. He said Elon was wearing very thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everybody to buy electric cars that nobody else wants, that he knew for months that I was going to do, and then he just went crazy. And I think that what happened is whenever Trump said that Elon just went crazy, Elon must have gotten pretty upset by this because Elon actually ended up coming back out and pretty much just saying that this was a total lie. As we can see here, Elon came back out and said that this was such an obvious lie. So sad. So it's a lot of back and forth that's been going on here, Mike. I know that a lot of people are pretty critical of Trump right now as well because Trump has said a lot of things in the past pretty much criticizing, let's say, extending or raising the debt ceiling and, let's say, going against raising national debt. And, of course, right now, this bill is said to raise the national debt by quite a bit. So, I don't know. There's a lot going on here, Mike. And what are your thoughts with this overall situation? Because I think a lot of people are wondering, like, hey, is this going to cool down anytime soon?
Yeah, I thought it was super funny how Elon showed up with receipts like you have here, and he basically showed, Trump that, he's going against a lot of his prior statements because this big, beautiful bill is set to add at bare minimum $2.4 trillion to the deficit and very likely much more than that. I saw some estimates closer to $3.5 to $4 trillion depending on how you factor in interest costs rising. And Elon is very strongly against this. And what I think is more telling than anything else is the increasingly negative perception that's tied to this. Tom, I think it's time to showcase the big bomb from today.
Yeah, the bomb is, I think, what really is going to get the most attention here. It has a ton of views on X. He said that Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason that they have not been made public. Have a nice day, Donald John Trump. Elon Musk definitely coming out here, hitting Trump with the bomb. I cannot wait to see how Trump responds to this one. Whenever Elon dumped this, I have not seen Trump say one word since that, at least at the time of this recording. So definitely have your eyes out there to see what Trump says. This was the biggest thing, and let me know in the comments how you feel about that, because that's going to be a pretty crazy thing if we end up, seeing that Trump was involved in this in some way.
How about that ending? Have a nice day. So that was interesting. And basically, this is important because, when we have tensions rising like this, of course, it's, horrible for Tesla stock, as we've seen today, but it also has a lot of impacts on other things, because I know Trump was, kind of threatening about taking away some of Elon's subsidies and contracts, and Elon did not like that at all. So long story short, keep a close eye on Tesla stock going forward. It's already moving a ton. Its options were flying up by like thousands of %. And luckily, we actually have some pretty cool data right here, basically showing what Tesla stock normally does in situations like this. So basically, Tesla stock dropped by around 17% today from yesterday's close to today's low. And historically speaking, over the next few days, there generally are positive returns, but I do want to say there have been a handful of situations in the past where, the bleed just continued pretty badly.
Yeah, it definitely has a few times. I will say the average percent rise being 5.02% is pretty awesome, but the percent of times it's in the green isn't really, only being 57%. As we go out over the next few days, it looks like there generally is a bit of a pop back from this, but as I go to like Tesla's chart and I go to like a daily, I know that we're not specifically looking at like 17% drops like that data is, but I'm gonna just generally look at Tesla and just say that it trends in pretty good ways. Whenever it starts gapping down, it starts going on a pretty good downtrend, it will have some pretty nasty drops mixed in. At the same time, it will have a lot of periods where it gaps up and has crazy moves. It's been like this throughout Tesla's history, especially the past 2 years, as we've been seeing a lot of these, like, let's say, crazier drops and crazier recoveries happen on this stock. So this might be one of these periods where we start to see more of a downtrend come into play. And something that I'm pretty worried about with Tesla stock in general is coming back to retest this 220 to 240 support area. In the past, this stock had bounced here like 3 or 4 times before finally recovering up recently. And with the drop today, that's definitely something I'll be watching for very closely if we can start breaking under like that low of day from today, closer to 270.
Definitely, and I'm very glad you pointed out that 220 area, because that has been an area where buyers have stepped in repeatedly in the past. So I definitely think that's worth keeping in mind. But at the same time, Tesla stock just broke through 300 today, and we're talking about like the next major buy level closer to like 200. So that is definitely a lot of room in between the current price. And I think it's really worth, embracing the chaotic nature of this situation. So for example, we know Tesla stock is down, let's say 14% today. And of course, no one knows with 100% certainty what is going to happen tomorrow. But what we do know is that if Tesla stock continues to fall, more people are going to sell out of it, and more shorts will come in, more people will continue to buy puts and just smash the stock lower. At the same time, there is a crowd out there who unfortunately is getting smoked today, who are buying this Tesla dip, and they're not necessarily wrong, at least, in the long-term sense, but in the short-term sense, they definitely are. But the point that is trying to be said here is that, we're seeing a lot of selling pressure right now, and that continues to have like self-reinforcing effects on itself. But there are also a lot of buyers out there sitting on the sidelines who are starting to come in and can attract even more buyers to come in. So looking at this setup for tomorrow, it is going to be like a trend riding setup. The more we see it fall, the worse it's going to get. And the same thing to the upside. If this stock starts to shoot up tomorrow, that is going to cause a lot of people who shorted today or bought puts today to panic sell out, which again would have a positive effect on the stock. It would cause more dip buyers to come in, among other things. So it's going to be a trend riding setup, and it's going to be a very exciting end to the week.
It definitely is, as we still have jobs data set to release 1 hour before the market opens at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Be ready. We have the non-farm payrolls and the unemployment rate set to come out. As we saw by the ADP numbers coming out the past couple trading days, it can definitely get the market going whenever there's jobs data released, and this jobs data will be some of the most highly anticipated jobs data of the past few months, especially with everything going on and the tariff situation impacting the economy. If we see the non-farm payrolls come in very far away from the consensus of 130,000, that's where we could see some differences here. If we see it come in under 130,000, that will be a big negative in my eyes. If we see it come in positive, I think that would be a good thing for the market, as we would see maybe the market being a little bit more resilient due to this tariff situation. But be ready 1 hour before the market opens. That will be very important. And then, Mike, the earnings calendar is pretty much dead, so the only thing to really worry about is the non-farm payrolls here.
Yeah, and a lot of people are going to pay close attention to this because everyone is a little bit on edge as to how the economy is holding up amid this tariff trade war. And like you said, we have some important non-farm payrolls data set to release, but we also have some unemployment rate data set to come out as well. So pay attention to the market 1 hour before the market opens tomorrow. Open your news app and definitely check it out before placing any trades. But Tom, we also had some updates with the U.S.-China trade war situation today, which is going to be another, big event in the market going forward.
100%. China news has been impacting price action, and once again, it did today. This morning, the market was actually very positive before the Trump-Elon spat started sending stocks lower, but we can see the SPY was pushing towards $600 early on, and this was actually because it was announced that Trump and President Xi actually held a call, which was awesome to hear. Headlines were hitting very early this morning, and stocks were starting to move up a little bit. Trump even posted about it on Truth Social, said that they talked for an hour and a half, and did say that they came to a positive conclusion for both countries. That's pretty awesome. And Xi apparently invited Trump and his wife Melania to China, and Trump did the same thing. So, hey, sounds like the China and Trump relations are getting better. Too bad Elon-Trump relations went bad.
Just a little bit, right? Just a little bit. But looking at the market for tomorrow, it definitely sold off quite a bit today. What are the key levels to keep on watch, and what are you seeing on these charts? I will say, Tom, this momentum definitely started to pick up as the day went on.
It did, and looking at the price action the past few trading days, the SPY has really been stuck in a range. We've seen the upper end of this range up around $598. There's been a lot of rejections there, and then the lower end of the range has been more closer to $595, maybe $595.50. Lots of bounces within both of these ranges. Pretty much what we saw today was SPY ended up falling under that $595 mark, and I thought that was a pretty key thing to see today. And it actually confirmed, and as we can see in after hours here, even heading lower. So there's a few key levels now coming up on the SPY that the SPY was previously consolidating at that I'll definitely be watching for. Firstly, 590 is going to be crucial. That'll be the main area I watch for tomorrow with the SPY. The low of day today around 591 could be pretty crucial as well. There's been a lot of reaction and bounces there, but that's pretty much like a $1 support range. If we start to break under that, there actually is a pretty big gap to fill on the SPY back down to like 582 to 584, and if we start to see that happen, I think that would be a pretty negative sign in the short term. Overall, what I take from today's price action is Tesla really impacted the overall price action of the market. Stocks were doing pretty good on this China news, and then things deteriorated as Tesla started to sell off a lot. I am also worried because the market did reject right at $600, and that's not really the best sign to see either.
No doubt. And, as we know, there are a lot of big events all happening at once. And I think it's definitely worth keeping some bearish setups at least on the radar. Of course, you don't have to trade them, but, if we do see a big down move, there are a lot of opportunities that come from that. Of course, there are things like SPY and individual stock put options, but there's also ETFs like SQQQ, UVXY, SPXS, and others that tend to do extremely well when the market does pull back, as we saw from the giant sell-off in April. So keep some of the bearish setups on the radar as well. They're definitely good ways to make money during periods of craziness. But besides that, Tom, we have some pretty awesome setups today as well. So let's dive into those. A stock that is definitely on my radar right now is SLV, and it is to the upside. You guys know that we've been saying this so much, and it is booming. It popped up quite a bit today, and the price action is strengthening more and more and more. We've seen a handful of big money trades with this one, and the show goes on. Basically, looking at silver right now, there's a lot of money still just flowing into silver and precious metals in general because, you know, there's a good reason to go into safety right now for multiple reasons given everything that we have going on in the world right now. I love how it broke past that recent resistance right around $32. The price action is great, and I'm loving this movement.
Let's go. Silver is on one hell of a run, Mike. It broke 32 finally. We've been watching this for so long, and it's been one hell of a run with silver. We had this insane recovery from lows around 27 all the way back up to 31.50, dropped all the way back down, and now we just rebroke all within this year of 2025 within 6 months. It's been a pretty wild swing with silver, so I'll definitely be keeping it on the radar. That is one hell of a move today, to say the least. But with my next setup, I'm looking at BTG, B2 Gold. I still like the way this one's setting up with metals as well. It's bouncing off 3.65 support today, which is nice. It was up 1.6%. It's not the largest mover ever, but considering how choppy and just how negative the market was today with Tesla's price action, I definitely like this this industry or this sector being gold, silver, and just metals in general. So I'm definitely going to keep watching BTG to the upside. It's still on an amazing run, just like silver.
Love to see it. Awesome. A ticker that is also definitely on my radar is Palantir, and it is to the downside. So this is going to hurt for some people, but while the stock is great and while the company has a lot of potential over the long term, in the short term, this price action is nasty. It fell by 8% today, which is a ton. And what I really don't like about Palantir right now is that it just broke its all-time high right around that 135 area. And then just a couple days after the fact, it is reversing in a major way. That is never a good sign. When a stock truly has strength and it breaks past its all-time high, you want to see it continue past that, like Palantir has done many, many times in the past. But when you see price action where you see that all-time high break and it just falls through the floor like we're seeing now, it shows that clearly there aren't that many buyers here, and there's also just like a lot of sellers rushing in all at once. Like there's a lot of people hitting the bid right now because they want to get out now. They want to get out quickly, and that explains this price action. There's a lot of momentum coming in here as well. Palantir is definitely on my bearish radar. Right now, it's right around that $120 area. And like, you know, let's say someone put up like a stop loss right around that like 128.50 area or so. I could definitely see Palantir falling to like 106 or even below 100 over like the next trading week or so, depending on how this momentum develops. Either way, I like the risk reward, and it is definitely on my bearish radar, not just for tomorrow, but again, throughout the next trading week or so.
Yeah, it's definitely starting to fall off in a pretty nasty way, and we're starting to see a lot of stocks turn over at the top here, with especially with Tesla today, of course, causing a lot of selling pressure. But Palantir has had a lot of problems breaking that all-time high, Mike, so I'll definitely keep it on the radar. With my next setup, I'm looking at Apple, and this one's actually to the downside. I'm watching a key $200 support. Now, I will say, always adapt. If we do end up waking up tomorrow and stocks brush off all this Tesla action, we do see some good recoveries, then keep watching Apple to the upside off of 200. But I'm really watching for a key flush below $200. We can see on the Bookmap, there was about 59,000 shares stacked up at 200. There is some good, there is a lot of sellers stacked up at 205 as well, around 64,000 shares. But with those buyers at 200, if we essentially see that break down here in the short term, that is going to show that there's a lot of negative price action. Number one, we've seen a lot of bounces off of this area with Apple already, and it's really failed to break down below this level over the past week. So if we end up seeing that sell-off, it'll be pretty rough. We have Bookmap there, and we have it lining up well on the charts. And of course, 200 is one of the bigger psychological levels on the chart as well.
There we go. So definitely keep a close eye on that one. And then, Tom, we also have a handful of pretty exciting momentum plays today as well. And with the first one, we have AST Space Mobile, ticker symbol ASTS, to the upside, and this one crushed it.
They had an end-of-day bull fest happen here. If they can break out above 33.15 at their high of day, then watch them up.
Awesome. With the next one, we have Nvidia Semiconductor, ticker symbol NVTS, to the downside.
Yeah, we actually been watching this one up quite a bit, but today it turned over quite hard. If it breaks under $5.90, essentially at its low of day, then watch it down. This is a pretty good support.
And then with the last one, we have Oracle, ticker symbol ORCL, to the upside.
Yeah, not the largest mover ever, but I will say a little bit more consistent than what we've been seeing lately. If it can break out above 172.25, then watch them up, and their options can do pretty good from time to time.
Awesome. So definitely keep these three stocks on the radar for potential continuations tomorrow, if and only if they break through the levels listed. The stronger they move, the better the setups become. As always, use stop losses or any other form of risk management to protect yourself in the event we do see a reversal. But Tom, we also have a really crazy $1.7 million big money trade today, with ticker symbol GDXJ, where the trader bought the 75 strike call options that expire on August 15th of 2025. Again, this is a $1.7 million trade, and these options are a little bit out of the money. GDXJ is a junior gold mining company ETF, so basically invests into gold and silver mining companies, but like smaller cap ones. It did very well today as precious metals continue to rise, and the stock has been uptrending pretty well in like a medium term sense. These 75 strike call options are a little bit far out of the money, which I don't love because it increases the probability of them expiring worthless. But at the same time, if we do continue to see a strong uptrend, these call options can do very well. So it's definitely an interesting setup. I like how there's time to it, and I like how there's a lot of money flowing into the precious metals area of the market right now. And we've seen a handful of other related plays to this one, especially like the ones with SLV, that are doing extremely well. So that's always good to see.
Yeah, definitely. This is a pretty interesting big money play here. GDXJ, it's like the baby version of GDX, right? Like you said, the junior mining ETF. But yeah, GDXJ, very interesting in the short term. I haven't looked at this one too much in the past because I've always just looked at GDX, but it does spark my attention here, being up 2% today. And with it being the 75 strike, it is a little bit scary, but we can tell that like as this stock has trended recently, it's had some pretty good moves. Like if we look at this stock, let's just, nitpick and just say like randomly off of one of these dips, it was around $50 at like the end of February, very beginning of March, right? That was around 3 months ago. And the stock has ran from 50 up to 72. So we can see that's a 22-point move. I would think that in the short term, 75 isn't really that far away. So if we do see like a good continuation here over the next few trading days and even a few weeks, this can end up being pretty advantageous. And as we've known with like a lot of the SLV big money plays, they've been doing pretty good lately in the metals market.
Seriously. So definitely keep a close eye on this one going forward. But Tom, we cannot move any further until we give a giant shout out to today's member of the day, Benny, in the Stocked Up trading floor, who crushed it today with over $3,000 in gains with NBIS and Costco. So huge shout out to you, Benny. Thank you so much for being a great member of the community, and it is awesome to see posts like this one. Guys, we are set for a very exciting end to the week. Of course, all of this Trump and Elon drama definitely brings in a lot of entertainment, but it also has some serious effects on the market as a whole, as we can tell from Tesla's price action today, plus the market itself. So let's make sure to come into the market focused tomorrow. Of course, sleep well, look at the news early in the morning so you can have maximum concentration for all of the big moves we are about to see. Don't forget about that jobs report 1 hour before open. Keep a close eye on the news, because we are in a news-driven market right now, and that is what is honestly just like dictating a lot of this price action. So definitely keep that in mind. And if you guys are into short-term trading, it is a great time to get in on the action with the Stocked Up trading floor. Our search bot hit it out of the park today with this Tesla sell-off. The put options today popped up by 1,180%, which was by far the best play of the week and just insane. I know people did extremely well with that, but even there were phenomenal moves with NBIS call options for 428%, Costco put options for 328%, Dollar Tree call options for 227%, OSCR call options for 207%, and the list goes on. It was a crazy day, and that's not even showcasing the pullback opportunities either. And then on top of that, you get full access to the big money trades. You can chat with Tom and myself all day long and get access to a lot of really great education in like a long-term sense and a great community of other like-minded traders. If you want to try it out, you can check out that first link in the description in the comments down below. It is the place to be for short-term trading, and everyone is sharing news and helpful insights in real time. So definitely check that out. You can save a lot right now with coupon code BIGMONEY. But thank you all so much for watching, and let's end this week with a bang.